Hello, trading has closed on the 12th of August 2025. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, which is August 13th, 2025. Remember, I can change my plan. My plan can be wrong. Trade at your own risk. Again, for about 3-4 weeks, I'm not going to be able to follow the market intraday and may not be risking my own money on these calls. Look for the pattern today with the early low, which is this, and tomorrow's pattern has the early high. We said this was a very negative pattern yesterday, that unless we gapped and promptly took out this high, we should see lower prices. Well, we gapped and promptly took out this high, so there was no call. We did say with the mixed signals, the commonest thing was a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. We got that. And we had a target, 63.92.90. And we said it might not work, but it certainly did work, and there was support under the number. This is a reminder of what we said. Unless we gap and promptly overtake the high today, we should see lower prices, but that's what happened, and we got the gap and prompt move outside the day's range. Tomorrow has the early high. This is the FOMC announcement price from July. It's not exact, but when you trade under it, any move under it needs confirmation, just as this move over it needs confirmation. When you trade under it, the market's going down, and when you trade over it, the market's going up. So this certainly wasn't confirmed, but right now we stop right at that number, and unless it's invalidated promptly, which means going down, never trading over this close, and promptly trading under this low, unless that happens, we're now in the bull phase, which there's no guarantee that we trade up tomorrow. It just says that you're on the bullish side of the number. During the day, MEJT had this big rally. We had this big rally. MEJT said it's not for keeps. Gives us a target of 64.35.37. And if we don't gap up significantly, that's my call for tomorrow. Now, it's only about 10 handles under where we are now. Into the market at 6,400, 10 points isn't very much, but if we do hit it, the target would be satisfied and there should be support under the number. Of course, again, we don't know how we're going to open, but that's my call for tomorrow if we don't gap up smartly. Well, we had this idea from Tom DeMark with a 913.9 sequential combo sell signal with the TDST line being undercut within 3 bars. It's a very negative pattern in his work. I was waiting for a trade under this low for confirmation that never came, so I never entered. How does this new high change things? Well, there is a stop loss, and we haven't gone over the stop loss yet, so technically we're still within the area of his sell signal, and if in capital letters and underline, and if we do start to drop, it would still be a valid signal in his work. Now again, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. This is quite a long time for things to get moving, if you ask me, but we haven't violated it yet. Another thing we haven't violated yet is this channel we've been looking at. We stopped right at the channel, so we stopped with a big straight move up right at resistance, and usually when you rally to resistance you gap over it or resistance wins, but that really applies to the first time you hit it. We hit this before, so we don't really have to gap tomorrow. I don't have a great count that says this moves over, but if we do drop right from here, I could probably come up with something. Right now the next Fibonacci target I have is about 64.72 and change, but I'm not acting on that at this time. I'm just going to say we have a straight line move up to resistance with a lower MEJT target. Well, this was the count I had. These ratios used to work perfectly right at this high. They're not off by much now, but they're still off. I'm just not convinced that this moves over. That doesn't mean we have to go a lot higher. It doesn't mean there's some other count that works. But trading over this old high, which had a lot going for it, kind of sends the caution flags up for me. But as far as this rally from last week's low is concerned, there is a good count for that. I mean, if that's A and that's B, you've got right on the nose for C. And if you look at B, we have an A equals C for B and C. All these things work. So if we do drop from here, I can certainly explain it. And moves in gaps like this with a straight line drop and a thing. This really isn't a wall with gap pattern because we closed up at the end, but there's still a good tendency for these things to fill these gaps. So I wouldn't say it's all systems go on the upside here, even though I don't have a good count that says the rally's over. We have a lower target for tomorrow if we don't gap up, and we could still back and fill even down to this area. So Wednesday's pattern has the early high regardless of where we open. Typically it is a bullish day with a final hour high. Failure is a straight line drop. The rules are about 80% of the time it'll be a rally day, and 20% it's a straight line drop. I think it should be clear after an hour of trading. There is a lower MEJT target unless we gap up smartly. The rules call for it to print. We're still in the area of resistance we showed on that channel. But even if we drop tomorrow, I don't have a clean count which says the rally's over. It could be a count I missed, of course, and it could be the ratios aren't there. But usually I can come up with something at the top, and I can't do that now. Doesn't mean we go up tomorrow. Today's action still needs confirmation by trading past the close. This looked like pretty negative stuff, but we never traded past the close. It doesn't count. If we can't trade past the close here, this doesn't count either. I mean, if we open way down here, which I'm not predicting by any means, this whole thing gets crossed off the list. So we still have to get confirmation. But for right now, just as this was a very negative pattern, that's a very positive pattern, even though it doesn't have to lead to us going higher tomorrow. And if we don't gap up tomorrow, my call 64.35.37. It's a pattern with the early high, and that's today's call.